now, somewhere online, a traveler is searching for exactly the kind of property you operate. And if they book it, there's a good chance you'll never know their name, never have their email, and never see them again. That's not a technology problem. That's a dependency problem. And it's exactly what we've been working to solve. So, this quarter, everything we've been focused on comes down to one core idea: removing the friction that's been holding hosts back from going direct. Because when we talk to hosts, it's rarely just one issue. It's usually, how do I get bookings? How do I handle payments? What about guest security? And what happens if something goes wrong? Those aren't small questions, and they don't have one answer. So instead of trying to solve just one piece, we've been focused on making the entire process feel more doable and a lot less risky. First, on the education side, we've also been featured on a couple of podcasts this quarter, including Host Planet, and we also launched our own Direct Book Me podcast, where we're breaking down what's actually working with direct bookings right now. Alongside that, our Vacation Unlocked newsletter is still going out consistently. So, across the board, we're focused on one thing here: helping hosts not just want to go direct, but actually feel confident doing it. Now, this has been one of the biggest areas of progress. One of the most common things we hear is, I don't want to duct tape a bunch of tools together just to make direct bookings work. So we started addressing that directly. We've been working on integrations with tools like Hospitable and OwnerRes. What this means is you don't have to rebuild your entire operation just to start taking direct bookings. You can plug into systems you're already using. We've also been improving smaller but important things like amenities experience on the site, because those details build trust with guests and directly impact whether someone actually books. So the focus here is simple: make direct bookings easier to adopt without adding complexity. Now, the other big piece, and honestly, one of the biggest concerns we hear is, what happens if something goes wrong? Because platforms like Airbnb have created a built in sense of security. If something breaks, if a guest causes damage, there's a feeling that you're covered. So, when hosts think about going direct, that's the first thing that feels like it's missing. And we've been very focused on addressing that. Not by trying to replace everything overnight, but by making sure hosts understand and have access to the right layers of protection: proper insurance coverage, strong guest agreements, security deposits and verification, and more control over who is booking your property. Because the goal isn't to push hosts into risk, it's to give you the same level of confidence, just without relying entirely on a third party platform. And this leads into something we're actively working on right now. We're in conversations to reaching out to companies that help remove uncertainty and reduce risk for hosts. Nothing formally announced yet, but this is a big focus for us, because the reality is no single platform should solve everything. There are already great companies that specialize in insurance, guest verification, payments and fraud prevention, and your guest experience. Our goal is to connect those into one ecosystem that actually works for hosts. One example of this, and something we've been exploring, is a potential partnership with InvoGuide. What they do is provide digital guidebooks for guests, but more importantly, they solve real day-to-day problems for hosts. First, they centralize guest information. So whether a booking comes from an OTA or a direct booking, you update your guidebook once and it reflects everywhere. Second, they eliminate repeated low-level questions. Things like Wi-Fi, check-in instructions, house rules. Guests already have what they need. And third, they offer translations. So if you're hosting international guests, you can still deliver a great experience without the language becoming a barrier. Now again, this is something we're exploring, not fully rolled out yet, but it's a great example of the type of partnerships that we're looking at. We've also been more active in the industry this quarter. We attended the Favor World Cup, which gave us a chance to connect directly with operators and understand what hosts are preparing for. And we'll be at the Michigan Short Term Rental Conference on May 7th and 8th. If you're going to be there, definitely come connect with us. A big part of what we're doing is making sure we're building based on real conversation, not just assumptions. Here's what this means for you right now. So, it means the biggest excuse for staying on the platforms: it's too complicated, too risky, too much to figure out. It's getting smaller every month. You can start building a direct booking channel alongside what you're already doing. You can test it, you can grow into it, and you can do it without taking on unnecessary risk. The hosts who start now are the ones who have the infrastructure in place when OTA fees go up again, and you know they will. Looking ahead, we're continuing to focus on more integrations, more ways to build trust with guests, and more systems that reduce uncertainty for hosts. Everything we're building is centered around one goal: making direct bookings feel just as safe and easy as the platforms, without the fees. I want to leave you with one thought: direct bookings aren't a trend or a backup plan, they're already your business. You just haven't fully claimed that channel yet. The infrastructure is being built, the partnerships are coming together. The only question is whether you're going to be positioned to take advantage of it. And that's exactly what we're building. I appreciate you all being here. And if you want to go deeper into any of this, we've been covering a lot of it on our podcast as well. Go build your channel. We'll be right here when you're ready.